and now we're live on Instagram as well. What's going on, everybody? Joe here again for episode 3 of the podcast with Kris.
What's up?
And we got a special guest today, Roger Escobedo.
Hey guys.
He was pretty active in the comments section on our last episode, so we figured we'd bring him on and get that engagement to a higher level. So if you guys are interested on coming on the podcast yourself, then go ahead and, give us questions in the comments and watch it, and maybe you'll be on the next episode. Who knows? Anyway, we're going to get into more about what Roger does. From what I know, he has a startup record label, and he also dives into e-commerce on the side as well. I met him in Oklahoma because we both joined the same initial National Guard unit, and we've been connected on social media, and like I said, he found us in the podcast, and here he is. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about your current events with your record label?
Yeah, sure. So, things that I'm currently working on, we just wrapped up a season of our, let me clarify something really quick. It's more of a lifestyle brand.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Right.
And we just wrapped up a season of our clothing line.
Mm-hmm.
And the project that I'm working
What's
on
up,
right now
Daniel?
is I'm getting our team of brand ambassadors together. We're about to go out and do a pretty cool
What's up, Danny?
photo shoot. And we're gonna go, promote it, shoot it out, get the word out more, brand awareness.
So you're doing your first photo shoot with your record label?
Yes, with my record label for sure.
When did you say that was going on?
I don't have a set date.
Okay.
I'm thinking probably mid next week. We're probably gonna all head downtown and get a.
What's up, Amanda?
photo session in.
Right on. That works. So what about your e-commerce side?
Well, hold up. Before we dive into the e-commerce side,
Okay.
do you want to give the people a little bit of background on yourself, Roger, and kind of how you came to start this record label or lifestyle brand, and how you decided to get into e-commerce? What was the motivation for doing so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've always had the feeling that college is good, but I have my own opinions on college, and it is that you only truly need to go to college if you're gonna get into like the medical field,
Yeah.
or if you're gonna become like some kind of scientist and go deep into one subject of that.
Yeah. Let me cut you off right there, man. Okay. I got really passionate opinions about higher education, and I really do believe that the only reason that one needs to go to college is for a law degree or a medical degree or something related to that. Like if your career plan doesn't require that, then you're literally just wasting time where you could be furthering your career or creating business opportunities. So, and that's what we're doing here today. We're putting ourselves out there to further our business career opportunities. Anyway, go on ahead.
Yeah.
Or
I have a similar viewpoint. Just if you're going for a specialized degree, that's the only reason I would recommend college, unless you're looking for the fraternity lifestyle or you're playing a sport. That's what I did. I did both of those. Don't get me wrong, I loved college and everything, but the self-education is far more important in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Not trying to downgrade the college education, but you just can't replace real-world experience with the textbook. So
that is so true, man. That is so true. And to give you a little proof, if you will, I guess. A graphic design major will go for 4 years to college, right? Or a photography major or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I learned how to edit through videos
on YouTube
and through practice. And I currently have this. There's an artist that I know. he's gonna fly me out to Vegas to make a music video for him, and I learned through YouTube.
There you go. So go ahead and put a comment, your opinion on higher education. Go ahead and do that right now for us, and then I'll read those out. So back to what you were saying though about your
My
startup.
background?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of always been my opinion about college. And so having had that, I was in college and kind of like in this limbo stage, and I'm still in college actually.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still like, I don't know.
Hey,
What's
so
up?
you're still in college. Baney over here gave me a hashtag fuck college.
Yes.
I couldn't agree more on that.
But so this was kind of a crazy idea. My friends had kind of brought it up in the past. I have a group of friends that they like to dabble in music, and I do as well, but they like to create it. And I know that I've always had like kind of this managerial kind of side to me. And the crazy idea came up that they wanted to kind of do like a record label, and I was always like egging them on, like, okay, cool, you guys can do this and whatnot. But I never saw myself as a part of it.
Yeah.
Well, push comes to shove. Now I'm like managing them. We have this, like I said earlier, it's a lifestyle brand really, but it's mostly focused around music and hip hop and fashion.
Yeah.
And kind of in that realm, it's been a lot of fun for sure, and it's just kind of crazy that I got into this. I originally, whenever I wanted to get into kind of business world, and even now I'm not like fully dived in yet, but I have my taste. Anyways, I thought I was gonna start with drop shipping. That's what I thought I was gonna start with.
So for people who don't know, you want to explain a little bit about what drop shipping is?
Yeah, sure. So, drop shipping is essentially, so you post, okay, a manufacturer has a product, let's say a fidget spinner.
A fidget spinner.
They sell it, yeah, so fidget spinners, everybody can relate to that, everybody,
Yeah.
you probably have a fidget spinner, I have one, anyways.
No, but I've gifted somebody one.
A manufacturer has a fidget spinner, they sell it for 25 cents, and it probably costs them even less. But let's just say they sell it to you for 25 cents. You sell it for $1. Or let's make this easier, so I can just like meaninglessly do math. They sell it for $1. You sell it for $10.
Yeah.
A customer buys it for $10. You pay the manufacturer $1.
What's up, Sean? We're talking about drop shipping right now. He was giving an example of a manufacturer giving you a fidget spinner. They make their fidget spinners. It's about $1 that they sell it to you, and then you resell it for about $10. And then you were gonna say something about the profit, right?
Yeah. So you make $9, and that's killer. So you're just a middleman. The beauty, why it's called drop shipping, is because you never see any supply at all, nothing physical ever. All you do is you market it online to people through Facebook ads, through social media influencers, through any marketing medium that you see fit that will get you the most traffic. That's what you do, and that's how you make your money.
Right. So you ship.
You have your own website. It's essentially your own brand. You make it your product.
So you ship the product from the manufacturer to the buyer of the product, and all you do is set up the store for them to purchase it, and then take your manufacturer's product and send it straight over to whoever wants it, just like that. What's going on, Christina? How you doing?
Hello, Christina. So, so you talked about how you have all these friends that you've jumped into business with, essentially.
It's always
Do
risky.
you guys, like, as a unit, is it like a collective why? Like, you guys all have the same why, or is it like different for each of you in terms of like why you're doing this?
I think So yes and no. I'm not sure where everybody's heads are at, but I know that we definitely all come together whenever it comes to this because
To your
we
record
know
label.
the merits of it.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's your guys like? What's maybe your specific? What's your end goal in this whole record label scheme anyway?
So definitely our goals, long term, are to be, like, like some of these big streetwear brands, almost like Supreme, but even more of a lifestyle brand. Like you got
Like
Vans,
Diamond
even.
Supply Co.
Yeah, and we kind of want to scale it to that level even, or I have no idea about the future. I
Okay.
just take things day by day. I might even be rebranding in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, that's fine.
You keep up with the ever-changing market. You guys know that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I heard once somewhere that your business really only lasts 5 years. After about 5 years, 5 to 7 years, your business is already
Obsolete.
yeah, obsolete more or less. You have to change how that's going. What's going on, Allie? How you doing tonight? So what I was gonna ask you next though was what you think it takes. I'm sorry. What is your competitive edge in this whole music label thing? So what makes you stand out from other music labels in the game right now?
I got you. So, it might sound like maybe pretentious or kind of conceited, but kind of me, but not me as a poster boy, me as the back end, me as the managerial end. I wouldn't consider myself a great salesman, but whenever I know whenever I have something that I know that I'm talking, what I'm talking about, I can sell the crap out of it. And this is something that I know, and it's my baby, and
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
There you go. That's the spirit, man.
Yeah. So what do you think makes or breaks good brands over bad brands in this field anyway?
In the music industry,
Yeah.
man. Definitely.
What's going on, Emma? We're talking about his music industry business right now.
Definitely restricting yourself to. So just like I said, I was changing more to a lifestyle kind of setting. Restricting yourself just to the label part of just the music part is almost not plausible. You're not, like, I'm looking at.
So you're saying you have to move to different aspects of business. You can't just stick with solely music. You have to move to clothing lines or other merchandise to really sell your products, names, brands, and things like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I'm really like no guru about this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm no genius for deciding that. I'm kind of trying to emulate things that other record labels have done because it's already
Yeah, you don't have to recreate the wheel.
Like,
If they're successful, then you can follow in their footsteps for sure, and then make it better and make it yours.
Yeah, exactly. Make it yours.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the beauty of it, right?
What's going on, Tyler? We're talking about his music production business right now.
Copy, but not copy, right? So.
Well,
Right.
pretty much copy, yeah.
Yeah, you copy, but you put your own spin on it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it unique. And in my opinion, it comes down to you copy, you put your spin on it, and then that opens your mind to, in my opinion, new doors or new avenues for how you can grow your business and that be unique, right? So you grow it in your own way, not necessarily like you're copying every single step.
Right.
So what are some major roadblocks that you've already came into doing this business, the day-to-day operations? What's some major things? What's going on, Tyler? That kind of stopped you.
Definitely first roadblock. Capital.
Capital,
So,
yeah. Go on ahead and give this thing a like, my boy.
So main reason I even went with Teespring.
Mm-hmm.
So our first clothing line, first clothing campaign.
Yeah.
I did it through Teespring. If you don't know what Teespring is, it's a website where it's a print on demand website. So you give them a design, and then you place it on a shirt, and you can sell it, and they print as many shirts or whatever as people order, but you don't have to pay anything. You don't pay for any of the order at all. You just sell it. So capital. I didn't have any capital, and I did it through Teespring, and that was our first roadblock for sure.
Yeah. What's up, Vanessa? Right now I'm talking about his roadblocks that he's gone through in his music production business right now. He's talking about how he uses this website called Teespring to design his shirts and then sell them straight from there for his music production business. So what is the name of that business anyway? And where can people find more about that business?
So it's called Hugo Box. Hugo Box is the name of the brand I have going.
Hugo Box.
And the way it spells is JUGOBOXX.com. And shit, I forgot the question. I'm sorry.
Just where can they go? You kind of answered the question. HugoBox.com.
Okay.
Yeah, just where they could find some more information about it.
Yeah, and I got it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I got it pulled up here, and it's a little bit hard to see, but they're selling some sweatshirts. They're a solid $30. They're pretty stylish, I think. I like the design. I like the name design with the two X's. So how'd you come up with that name anyway, though?
Yeah, so this was actually kind of tough for me and my group of friends. So since so technically the music creators in my group of friends are signed to this brand. It's nothing official or legal yet, but that's what they are. So
that could definitely turn into a problem.
Everybody a say in the name, and so we, in the end, this probably took 2 months to decide. Which, if you're ever starting a business, don't ever let a brand name hold you back from starting a business, because that's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a side tangent. We settled on Juicebox Records.
Yeah.
And I have seen this trend in social media and in the whole social world, that adding a Latin or Hispanic twist to a brand name gives it this edge. So we changed Juice to Hugo, because that's what it is in Spanish. And then we added an extra X on the box to add this little spice. It's that little extra.
Yeah, that flair.
Stand out.
A style for sure, yeah. So going back to what you said about starting something without having a brand name for it, literally that's what Kris and I are in right now, because we haven't came up and decided on a podcast name. So if any of you guys got ideas for a name, go ahead and drop it in the comments right now, a podcast name. What's going on, Manny? Learn about some music production knowledge. So yeah, go ahead and comment a name for the podcast, and we'll go ahead and consider those.
Yeah, I do want to hit on something real quick.
Yeah, what's up?
We don't have a name. Roger didn't have a name for a while. But regardless, that didn't stop, any of us from starting something.
Yeah, exactly.
And oftentimes, in my experience, from what I've seen, is people get caught up in the small things. And then they use that as an excuse as what's holding them back.
Yeah,
right?
I agree completely.
Man, I don't have business cards. I can't go to that meeting. Or man, I don't even have a business name, man. I can't go for deals. In terms of real estate, right? So
right, yeah.
In my opinion, you just gotta dive head first, and then you fix things up on the way.
Yeah, I think you got to be doing something that you're scared shitless of every single day. Do something that, that one thing that you're like, man, that's some scary shit. And everybody has fear, everybody. Do that one scary thing every single day. And as time progresses, those baby steps will turn. I take that back. Those baby steps, when you turn around, you're going to see the stairwell that you just climbed up from those baby steps of overcoming that fear.
Yeah, and usually it's like the fear, something that you fear the most, like, you know, whether it be connecting with someone or pitching a sale or whatever it is. That's oftentimes what you need to do, right? So it's like the thing you fear the most is what you need to be doing.
Most definitely. So Roger, what were some things?
Hey, can I say something to your audience real quick?
Yeah.
Everybody, so in on a podcast like this, there's a lot of like cliche kind of sayings and stuff that go around, but you, like all of us entrepreneurs think like this, and all these cliche sayings, we take them to heart. Like they may be just like words to you guys, and you hear them all the time, but this is us. Like you have to have the mindset, and this is the way. Like even no matter how crazy those things are, they're so true. They're so true.
Yeah,
so,
it's
like,
really what separates.
Thanks now.
It's what separates the successful from the people who regret not starting at the end of the day is the mindset. And once you change your mindset, your whole life changes completely.
Exactly. And I was just going to add on to that about the mindset is it's a lifestyle, right? It's not like we're just saying those things because we read them and we think that they might
sounds
work.
good.
Like, no,
Exactly.
Like they've been proven and we're proof of those. It's all about the mindset that you have and your approach to things that really set you apart. Because at the end of the day, like anyone can start their own business, but 99% of people are too scared to take that step to start their own business.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it comes down to taking action and executing a plan.
Yeah.
But along the way, I mean, it's not like you can drop a plan and execute it. That's cool, but if you don't have that mindset adopted, you're not gonna progress as much or perhaps as well.
Yeah, for sure. So Roger, what were some of those fears that you had to overcome when starting, a music production and business and doing your photography, especially just the fact that you're putting yourself out there, I'm sure is a big fear that you had to overcome, and I'm doing the same thing right now. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so definitely, I guess first thing I should hit on is that maybe you don't think about I don't think about them as fears anymore so much as really just like they're like roadblocks or challenges that you get over.
What's going on, Josh?
A fear maybe I would define more as like something that I will never get over. So, anyways,
okay. Then
so
what's something that you're what was it?
Capital.
That's a fear?
Yes, because so like stuff stopping you from starting business, is that what you mean?
Yeah, for sure. Not having the capital to do it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, not having the capital to do
sense.
it, not having the know-how to get it up, or once you have it up, can you maintain it, or those were kind of my things that I was always worried about. And then putting myself out there for photography and videography, something I'm still doing. Definitely the critique, like people in that industry tend to judge pretty hard on whatever content you produce. So I don't know, that's always in the back of your head no matter what, but it's just like you gotta have, it's good pressure. I like to think of it as good pressure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes you do better and have this competitive edge.
So why'd you go into the music industry anyway?
Man, I asked myself that like all the time actually, but it's the people, I think.
The people.
And the lifestyle that comes from it. There's some really awesome people in the hip hop and music scene. And there's also like a lot of wisdom, I think. Maybe not in all the most constructive areas, but I don't know, people tend to know a lot at like music shows and stuff like that.
So
and the spontaneity of it as well.
So I wanna debunk you made a comment about they might not be they're wise, but it might not be in the most constructive way. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so I think any knowledge is good knowledge.
What's going on, Melissa?
And one of my favorite things to do is just pick at people's brains. And whenever people have some of that honesty juice, it's really easy to have conversations like that. And I'm sure you can find that at a lot of other places, but this is where I feel most comfortable at. And that's why I really like the whole music industry.
Okay.
The people.
What's going on, Carmichael? So, Roger, tell me why you think people fail in this industry.
Why people fail in this industry? They don't.
Why do people fail?
They don't keep with it even through the hard times. And I really haven't been in this industry for very long, but I know that
What's going on, Skibby Buck? I just
you can't quit.
I just asked him why people fail in the music industry because he has a record label right now, and he was saying people fail because they don't stick it out through the hard times.
Exactly.
And that's the entrepreneur mindset,
Oh, yeah.
sticking it out through the hard times.
Most definitely.
And being able to overcome those challenges. And most of the time, I know in my case, I've literally had a complete paradigm shift from last year to this time this year. In my approach to things that I feared. So in the beginning, it was tough for me to even get on the phone to call banks because what happened was whenever I got into real estate, my first goal was to create a power team of people. And so that required me to visit with people and
What's going on, Luke?
And just try and build relationships with them. And it was tough in the beginning, but now I have no problem calling 20 banks, inquiring about loan structures and can that fit my business model. And but my point in saying this is, for me, what I do is instead of letting the fear get to me, I understand that overcoming the fear is going to get me further than if I was to sit back and let the fear get to me.
Yeah, and you took that and you ran with it, man. All that repetition that you did calling, those banks over and over again, that's what helped you build up that confidence. So it don't even matter.
Yeah,
So
my thing was dude, I sounded like an idiot the first time I called the bank, but on the 20th time, dude, I had it down. People were like, dang, dude, this guy's 20, 22, and he's doing what am I doing in my life,
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all about, in my opinion, all about seeing what's over the hump as opposed to seeing the hump, right? So
Yeah. What's going on, Willie?
You just gotta get over it.
So.
That's so true, man. Man, I'm sorry. Okay, never mind. I forgot what I was gonna say.
And it sounds like when you first were calling up the bank tellers, you were like, so how's the weather? What? And now,
Yeah, sort of.
now you got everything down.
Not exactly.
And that's how I was though. I was like, I don't really know what I'm talking about, so these are cool.
So, elaborate on your, instead of looking at the hump, you look what's past the hump.
What's going on, Ashley?
I guess I forgot to tell you. Well, I usually don't like to say this because I
Let
think
it out,
people
man.
will judge me differently, but
Who cares, man?
I come from a entrepreneurial family. My parents own a multi-million-dollar restaurant in Weatherford, and
Oklahoma. Weatherford, Oklahoma.
anyways, they recently had a situation. Well, they own this restaurant, multi-million-dollar restaurant.
Yeah.
And then my dad owns a construction business.
Okay.
He had an employee that had stolen tools from him, and it was about to come up to his payday, and he was trying to decide on whether to fire him, and then not pay him, or fire him and pay him, or something like that. I don't remember, but he had that option for some reason.
So.
And oh god.
So what did he do? Did he pay him?
The guy started a lawsuit.
And he didn't. No, this guy was kind of really bummy.
Okay. So why didn't you go into business with your parents? Why are you doing your own thing? Why don't you go into the restaurant business where there's already a solid model that you can take and and make even better. There's already a solid construction model of your dad's business, and you can take and you can make it better. Why don't you go into that?
Because exactly that. It's already established. It can honestly, if we wanted to, we could honestly almost automate every process of the business.
Yeah.
All you have to do is really make the decisions and decide on plans to grow it. And there's nothing. I mean, I think it would be an interesting path, but this is the path that I choose to take because I want something of my own. Of course, my parents always say that, but this is your own. This is your livelihood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yes, it is, and I will always be a part of it, and in whichever ways they need me to help. But I don't know. It's not the path I want to follow.
Yeah.
It's like you want to create something for yourself and on your own, because I guess maybe from your whole life, you've seen your parents grow something on their own, and maybe that's seeing their growth. You want to do the same in your life.
What's up, Jared?
Just taking over.
Mm-hmm. So basically, Roger over here is just telling us about how his parents have multi-million-dollar businesses, and he decided not to take over them because he wants to make his own little baby, basically. And this dude, Skippy Butt, he posted a comment. He said, Skippy Butt, I don't know, man, where they come up with this stuff. But he said, I thought you were bulking up. Why aren't you eating right now? That's a good question, man. I guess if I want to get big, then I got to be eating like 24/7. And then I'll eventually turn into Kris.
Yeah, you also have to sleep a lot, too.
Yeah.
That's very important, honestly. Which I don't sleep enough, so.
You're still freaking yoked up, though, so it's not like it matters for you.
Dude, I could probably be like 10 pounds. Anyway, so Roger, what, I guess what has impacted you the most in terms of like your learning of the whole process? Like, was there maybe a book, an author, a certain entrepreneur that you took after and you're like, dude, I want to, model this guy? And do you study anybody, I guess, is a better question?
I don't really have, I guess maybe I have a group of role models.
Yeah.
So there's definitely Dan DeSilva. I think he's probably the first person I've ever heard drop shipping the word come from. And then Alex Becker, and then the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think Robert
Kiyosaki.
Yeah. Then there's this YouTube channel, Value Tape. I'm big on watching YouTube, so that's where I usually engage most of my.
Most definitely. What's going on, Rhodes? How you been?
That content. And last but not least, most importantly, Gary Vee.
Oh yeah, Gary Vee is great. And I don't know if you've seen it, Escobedo, but I actually posted a video a day or two ago that was kind of like Gary Vee style, I think. But really, I got the inspiration from Ty Lopez, but don't tell nobody.
Oh yeah, shit. I guess I gotta throw in Ty Lopez.
Yeah.
Inspiration, but he marketed so wide that it got to my eyes.
Yeah, he's great, man.
He's a freaking genius, man. He's
real.
A guru when it comes to social media.
He is.
Hey, so real quick, if you guys got any questions for Escobedo or Kris or I, go ahead and post them right now, and we'll get to that. But for right now, Kris, did you see any video throughout the week that really impacted your life, made you think at a higher level?
Not necessarily a video.
What's going on, Grover?
This week, I was reading a book called Emerging Real Estate Markets.
Yeah, I saw that on your story.
It's just been a tremendous help for me. I hired 2 employees this week to automate the process of searching for deals and analyzing markets. That way now they just report to me, and actually I have to go through my spreadsheets when we get done with this.
So
now
why?
My job is to assess the numbers and then call property management companies and real estate brokers.
So why are you even in real estate to start with, Like, what's the point of that? Why are you even in real estate?
Real estate is the ultimate wealth builder.
The ultimate wealth builder? Says who?
Andrew Carnegie says real estate's made more millionaires than any other field.
I agree.
Yeah, and it's a long process, but in my opinion, the skills that you learn from there can be applied to many different fields.
Mm-hmm.
And real estate is really a vehicle to fund my other projects, whether that be drop shipping or whatever, apparel line or whatever I want to do. Right? It doesn't matter. I want to buy and sell cars. Who cares? The real estate will be able to fund that.
Mm-hmm.
There's tons of strategies. I've always enjoyed it. I'm a huge fan, dude. Like, when I was young, I used to draw on the wall. I used to draw houses on the wall and stuff like that. Dude, I've always been a huge fan of real estate. So, it's just kind of taken off since last year. And actually, this is the exact day, October 1st, 2016, was when I started my real estate company.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Congratulations on your first year.
And I just want to say, so whether you're at the beginning of your entrepreneur journey or in the middle or towards the end, you're stupid if you never get into real estate.
Man, I can't really agree with such a harsh opinion, but who am I kidding? You're damn right. Think about it, man. It's literally just money. If you're going to have money in a savings account, you might as well throw it into fucking real estate, because it's money sitting in something that's real. Yeah, it can go down. Yeah, it can go up. But at the end of the day, if you rent that bitch out, then it's money sitting there instead of in your bank account that's making you money every month. So that's the whole thing about entrepreneurs, making money when they sleep, having your money work for you 24 hours, 7 days a week. If you have it in real estate, not gold, not stocks, because nobody pays you rent for stocks.
And you spend all your time researching that.
That too.
Yeah, there is a lot of time researching stocks, but they do pay dividends, so it is. It could be similar to rent. It's obviously not as much, but.
Yeah.
Your life's all about trading your time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna ask you a question, and I'm gonna have you think on it, like subconsciously, and then we're gonna come back to it later on. So, what is your favorite word? Okay, I just want you to think about that right now. Put that in the back of your head. I'm going to come back to it later. Right now, I want to talk about any interesting books that you've read through the week. Kris or Roger. Huh?
I said or recently.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll just say I've been reading this one. So I read.
What's going on, Lucy?
In the morning, I read this one called The Daily Lion. And it's just like a bunch of motivational paragraphs, right? They can be on different subjects, but it's just a good way for me to wake up, and it's all about like Gary Vee style things, like, dude, get your shit done, create a plan and do it. Like, life is just gonna pass you by, otherwise, like, fucking do it. So
that's what. So you're reading this book
really
called
cool to, like, wake up and you open the book and you're like, hell yeah, dude! Like, I'm pumped for the day. Like,
yeah.
It just gets me going in the morning. So yeah, that's something I could appreciate this week. Reading.
So was there any good quote that you remember from that book that you read recently, like yesterday or the other day or something? Okay, well, while you're doing that, Roger, have you been reading anything interesting?
Not reading. So I'm really bad with reading because I can't. I guess, like, I always try to multitask, and
okay.
I can't. I have terrible focus.
Yeah.
So the way I do reading is through ebooks, and so I can, like, cook and listen to it, kind of like a podcast.
Like an audiobook.
Yeah.
That's smart.
This podcast right now, this is something I would listen to while I'm, like, cleaning or cooking or something like that. Anyways, it's not to take away from reading at all, because reading in general is just a great thing. But something that I have seen recently, is a YouTube, the YouTube channel Valuetainment. They came out with a video recently about doing it. They did a case study on Toys R Us, and that was really interesting to me. They kind of talked about how Toys R Us didn't keep up with the ever-changing market, and they stayed brick and mortar. They never took anything to e-commerce. So,
Yeah, they actually
they're left behind.
they partnered with Amazon way back in the day, and Amazon took their toy products and sold them on their website for a commission fee. I don't know if you knew that, but they're going out of business now. But
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
yeah, this was like over 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago when that happened, and the reason that I know that is because the book that I'm currently reading, this is just a little piece of paper. I always take it off. It might be backwards, so I apologize, but it's about Amazon.com. It's called The Everything Store, talking about Jeff Bezos, who is the founder and CEO of Amazon. And right now, I kind of went through this phase, or they were talking about the phase where the .com bubble, which was when the internet kind of first came up, where people were making businesses, that first came up. And then everybody in, Silicon Valley and everywhere else was making a website and saying, look, it's the internet, here's a bunch of products, here's a bunch of value, and we're going to make $1 million with no actual solid business plan of where that would go. And so the .com bubble came up, and then as these businesses did nothing, it crashed hard. And the stock for Amazon, I think it was above 400. I could be wrong. It could have been above 200. And then it went all the way down to $7 per share. And they fired an entire fulfillment center, and I think they completely shut it down. And slowly but surely, Jeff Bezos kept the heart of Amazon, obviously, because it's still here today, and you know the name. And it not only grew back to where it was, but it grew exponentially further from that point on. And there were some ideas that came up maybe a year or two after the bust, which was Amazon Prime. And then right after they did Amazon Prime, they actually don't make a lot of money from Amazon Prime. The money that they make from Amazon Prime comes from Amazon FBA, which is the fulfillment program from Amazon. So you pay like whatever, $100 a year to get your 2 days shipping or whatever, and then people who want to sell on Amazon pay like a huge commission to Amazon to sell their product there, and then they get the 2 day shipping service for their customers. So that's really where they get a lot of their money. But it's a super interesting book. It's not really it's not like a fiction or a fantasy book or anything, but it's really interesting to learn about the trials and tributes of incredibly successful people like Jeff Bezos. He, at one point, I could be wrong on this one, but I think at one point he was the richest man in the world. I think he's worth like 40 or 50 billion.
Was for
like,
I don't know, it was like a couple hours.
A couple hours, okay. I think he's worth 40 or 50 million right now. And he just bought Whole Foods through Amazon, and I'm sure you guys know about that. And he's run countless businesses out of business, like a ton, one of them being Toys R Us. And to learn about what they go through helps me in my journey. And you learn from other people's mistakes and kind of implement them into your lifestyle. What were you gonna say, Chris?
I was just gonna read my one of my favorite ones from the passage that I read today.
Oh,
not really passage, but the pages I read this morning.
Mm-hmm.
What my favorite one was. So it says, if you're not living your dream, you're sleeping too much. All over the world, people wake up each day. Most of them hit the snooze button. You think you'd be doing that if you're chasing your dreams. Sleep is good when kept to a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night.
Mm-hmm.
Yet some people love sleeping 10 plus hours each day. Then you have to account for the naps they take.
Yeah.
You can start to understand why they aren't successful. You should hate sleep because it's taking away from your passion. Be so excited for the next day, it's hard for you to contain your excitement when you lay there.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why you should ever be waking up past 8 a.m. Don't you wonder why the successful people get up before the rest of the population?
Yeah, that's great. And something that kind of ties in with that is something I heard on Ty Lopez's podcast. He was talking about something that Warren Buffett said, who is a incredibly successful the most successful investor who's worth tens of billions of dollars. He says that every day he wakes up tiptoeing because he's so excited to start the day and so excited to literally look at annual reports of places. And me personally, I could give a fuck about annual reports, but that's what he loves, investing. So he wakes up every single day, literally, well, I think it was figuratively tiptoeing, because of his line of work. And that's really where you need to be to go from working a job to working, a career, to then loving what you do. And without that, you won't be able to survive the busts and booms like Amazon.com did. Jeff Bezos had a ton of passion into what he did, in that he quit his cushy Wall Street 6-figure job to create this startup business. What's going on, Angela? So anyway, Roger, back to what I was saying. What is your favorite word? Did you?
Yeah. So I thought of it like right then and there. It was definitely hope.
Hope.
Yes.
Okay.
So hope is a thing that comes easy to entrepreneurs because we're mostly positive, optimist type people, because that's how we have to be. Like, it's realistically to progress. Something that we all have is hope, because nothing is guaranteed. That's essentially that is one of our biggest driving factors.
Is the hope of that success? Is that what you're saying?
The hope of the success, that future, it's hope.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What about you, Kris?
Yeah. Mine is resilient.
Ooh.
Nice.
So the ability to be knocked down and then to get back up. It's kind of like the brief description of it, but yeah. So it's the ability to keep going forward, and it was really relevant to me how resilient I am. This last week, I had like a quarterly review with the company I work for, and we kind of went over like my goals that I'd set and what had happened over the past several months and how things have changed for me. And my biggest thing was for the longest time I struggled with like a daily routine. So I'd always like beat myself up. I was always trying something new. But I came to realize like it's not so much of the daily routine that it's about. It's more about finding the opportunities and doing the things that are the small things that are going to put you in a position to succeed in the future.
Yeah.
And it's the craziest thing. Like now I enjoy my daily routine, and I wake up excited to do those things, and it's made me feel, I guess, so much more fulfilled in life. But having looked back on it this last week, I was like, damn, I've been beating myself up for so long, and then I now have found that happiness, and that just goes to show like everything in life is going to be in that form or fashion, right? It always gets worse before it gets better.
Yeah. That's 100% true. Definitely.
What about you, man?
Well, I think I'm gonna have to go with fear, and it's kind of a topic of the whole podcast. And the reason I go with the word fear is because these past few weeks, for the things that I've been doing, it takes a lot of courage and overcoming fear to really progress, and one, put myself out there, and two, take those opportunities by the fucking balls, and really go forward with the things that I want to do. And a great quote from you, actually, that...
Who's you?
Huh?
Who's you?
You, motherfucker. Kris.
Me?
Yeah, you. I asked you a question about what to do when I went out to wherever, when I was traveling, right? What's going on, Dante? And you said this in response, and I kind of kept it almost as a mantra. And what you said was, get comfortable being uncomfortable and do whatever you want. And that's really how you have to live your life, and take the fear of other people, the fear of poverty, the fear of rejection, the fear of death, all that other stuff. Take it, respect it, acknowledge it, and then throw it the fuck out the window and do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah, I always have had an interesting view on, I guess, rules and regulations that society has put on us. And it's like, who's to say what is right or wrong, or what is good or bad? It's all perception.
Yeah.
And, it all boils down to how you perceive things. So, and I struggle with it, like, I guess a lot, just like thinking of an action that I'd like to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, let's say like I'm in a state where it's legal smoking marijuana. Just hypothetically.
Here we go, you pothead motherfucker.
I would just be like,
what's up, Paige?
My entire life I've been told that it's bad and that you should not do that. But here I could go pick it up like I'm picking up groceries.
Yeah.
And, it's like society has put those things on us where we feel that it's bad.
I mean, yeah.
But in reality, it's like, what is good or bad? It's a different, Joe's view of it is different than mine.
Right.
Yeah, so, I guess.
So I always question everything. Like,
yeah, whatever makes you happy, man, at the end of the day.
Why does he think that's good or bad? Like, what's his perception of
I
this?
mean, if you want to do some dabs, bro, then go ahead. Just, I don't really need to hear about all that, you know what I'm saying? Dante's saying, loving life finally. He gave me a laughing emoji, and he's asked how I'm doing. I'm doing great. Go ahead and put a comment about a question that you want us to answer right now, Dante. I'm going to change gears. Here's a kind of off-topic question, kind of, that one guy on Sirius XM radio who, he got that puffy Jufro. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about?
I'm not sure.
What?
I don't have XM radio.
No, I mean, he's well known. He's that one radio host.
Carrot Top?
No, Carrot Top. It's black hair. Oh, man. He has, like, Beetlejuice on.
Swayze.
Nah, man. He had, like, Beetlejuice on, and, like, a porn star, like, shaved Beetlejuice's ball sack, and...
Ron Jeremy.
No. I don't know, but anyway, the point of that was, like, what he does with his guests is he really gets them comfortable being uncomfortable. So I'm going to ask you, basically, on a scale from 1 to 10, how weird are you, Roger?
I don't know.
You don't know yourself? How old are you? How long have you known yourself?
Well, I guess maybe a better question. What do you spend your time doing?
Okay, go ahead.
What do you do in your spare time? And maybe we can...
No. I want to know how weird you are. I don't care what he does in his spare time.
Let me reword it, though. Let me reword it, because I made fun of my sister in middle school for whenever she would call herself weird.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to reword it as out of the ordinary.
Okay, how out of the ordinary are you, as opposed to other people that you see day to day at the grocery store?
Mindset, 10 out of 10. Out of the ordinary.
Nice.
Physical appearance, maybe 5 out of 10.
Nah, man, come on. I say probably like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. Like, you got
Okay.
you got that hair,
Okay. I got the glasses. Yeah, I guess 9 out of 10. You're pretty, yeah.
Yeah, man. One of those, man, going, kind of shifting gears, one thing you gotta have,
No, wait.
man.
I want to answer myself, too, because...
Alright, weirdo.
Dude, I'm probably the weirdest person. I probably don't look weird, but, dude, I'm strange.
Yeah.
People say I'm an old soul.
An old soul.
Okay.
What does that even mean?
That means,
What does that mean?
well, I spend my mindset is far beyond my years, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
And I would rather spend my time doing things that older people would do as opposed to what someone my age would do.
That's true. You did tell me that you went and played golf that one time.
Yeah, played golf, like drinking beer Saturdays for the boys,
The most boring sport anybody could think of.
But yeah, I'm super strange, man.
Yeah.
I have a strange fascination with like sceneries, like photography. I mean, it's not like old soul things, but it's, I don't know. I'm really objective when it comes to things. Like, I don't have a favorite sports team, which people like freak out about because they're so emotional about sports. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do really strange things. That's just me. And you know what? Like, I embrace it. I love it, and that's it. Like, I've accepted it, and I have no problem.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. So Dante over here, he said that he loves that quote, "Get comfortable being uncomfortable," and that's amazing because that really is all part of the shift, a more growth mindset, so that you can grow and become a better person. But anyway.
Wait, go to you. 10 out of 10. Out of 10.
How?
11. 11.5. He is just like me, old soul. Dante said he's just like you, Kris, old soul. I knew him back in Oklahoma. We were co-workers at a McDonald's. But yeah, I'm probably like a 10, maybe 11, 11.5 on that weird scale. But seriously, man, like, it's crazy because when I look at other people and just how I've gone through life and how I've met people, I really do think at a different wavelength than most people. And it's kind of crazy. And it's not just the fact that I'm sitting here talking to people on a fucking phone, you know what I'm saying? It's just the fact that when I look at things, I usually look at things from an objective point of view. And that's kind of what you were saying about the sports teams. So when somebody, for example, there's like a breakup or something, when something like that happens, some people will go to them and help them out emotionally. Well, that's not really how I'm wired. I'm wired more on the logical side, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know, this person cheated on you or whatever, so, it only made sense that you guys broke up. Like,
depends on how you define your relationship.
Yeah. I mean,
some countries do. They welcome it.
I mean, it's not called cheating if it's consenting cheating, though. That's just, polygamy or polyamory or whatever, which sounds like really fun to me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Gio? What's going on, Gio? How you been, man? So, yeah, probably a 10 on a good day, a 10 out of 10 for weirdness for me. Maybe even 11 or 11.5 if you really want to be honest, though. Because, I'm spending my weekend in front of my computer drop shipping shit on eBay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so like...
That's where I get joy.
That we can all probably relate to is that, and something we all know best is never to be so quick to judge somebody. We've probably met a lot of judgment in our lives, and people don't know us. They don't know what we do. We don't know what other people do.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we're no better than anybody else.
Yeah.
But we kind of have like this, I would say, upper hand in that.
Agreed.
I don't know. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And to piggyback on that point is, I know for me, what I've done the last 5 years-ish is literally reprogram my mind to acknowledge the thoughts I have. So I may judge you, but you're never going to hear it come out of my mouth. I acknowledge the thought and then say, okay, that's not true. I don't know anything about said person.
Yeah.
Yes.
And most of the time, like, when I connect with somebody, that's kind of like my first step is to get to know them. Like, what's your story, right? Like, why do you do the things you do? And then maybe that'll give me a little more perspective.
Yeah, that's smart.
Of why you made that decision you did.
So Gio's asking how I'm doing. I'm doing great, man. I hope you're doing great as well. Go ahead and comment right now a question that you want me to ask the boys. What's going on, Arnold? Go ahead and comment right now of a question that you want me to ask the boys. We were talking about, jog my memory real quick.
About weirdness.
About weirdness.
We're on the topic of weirdness.
What were you just saying a minute ago, though?
I was saying about thoughts and how I've reprogrammed my mind.
Oh, yeah.
To
Right.
acknowledge thoughts, but not actually have to believe in them and say those and go by the things I think.
Right. So what I was going to say about that is that it's literally human nature for you to judge somebody else. And there's nothing wrong with judging people. You have to judge people. You have to profile people. And that's a fact. It's not up for
Yeah, you
debate.
have to assess
That's
if
human
they're a danger
nature.
or a threat to you or not.
Exactly.
Because ultimately it's about survival.
But at the end of the day, you have to take that and still respect people, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, so correct me if like I'm bad on my terminology, but so you have to be conscious of your subconscious.
yeah, sure.
Exactly.
That's kind of like knowing yourself at a deeper level.
It's like thinking about thinking.
Thanks for the likes, boys. I appreciate that.